What's up, Middle Georgia Dog Pound? Welcome to another edition of the Middle Georgia Dog Pound Live. I'm your host, Brian. Matt, Kevin, what's up, fellas?
What's up, brother?
How we doing, man?
4-0.
Yes, sir.
4-0. That's all we can ask for, right? 1 week at a time, one win at a time. We are 4-0. Glad to be here. Glad to be bringing another show to our Middle Georgia Dog Pound fan nation. Hope that everybody will join in tonight and give us a good comments on the show. We'd love to hear from you. As always, if this is your first time on the show, go to streamyard.com/Facebook to give StreamYard permission to use your icon and your name so we know who's commenting on the show, and we'd love to put your comments up on the page as well. You guys know we have an email if you want to hit us up at middlegeorgiadogpound@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. That's middle GA dog spelled like it should be, DAWG pound@gmail.com. Well, guys, let's run that game trailer and get into this thing. Talk about that UAB.
You get an opportunity to go out here and show the world who we are.
They come to see you. Let's put on a show.
And that's all he needed to get into the end zone. A sack by Warren Brinson.
Now I wanna pretend I fell down every time that I ever tried, but I got up again and did it again.
Get off me, he said. Into the end zone, touchdown as he breaks the play.
Until I decided to win, I do it again. I do it again. I do it again and do it again and do it again. I do it again. Before I met Drake, you remember I was fucking with B. You remember my little sister Marquita went to school at Martin Luther King. We was on Prescott, you remember. Me and the hands B, remember I thought they were going when they were saying that they had you. Pull up by your grandma.
Into the end zone, touchdown! Brock Bowers.
Boy, the Napa Valley piece, just unbelievable.
Pass batted in the air and intercepted off the 10th. Tyke Smith with his third interception of the year. Give it to Edwards. Dances, waits for the hole to open. Drives left side. Touchdown as the helmet flies.
Money now that they owe. Dragon name, you don't give them a loan. Cut, don't get and put one of your sneak this shit, put your business in zone. Weather the storm, I'm holding around.
Somebody had the ball, dove over. Was that Beck? It's a touchdown. Play fake to Edwards. Sets up with time. Throws. Oh, Marcus Roseby, Jack St. wide open. Caught at the 40. To the 30 to Bowers. Bowers has space. 10, 5. Cuts inside. Touchdown. Brock Bowers. Savon Clark will get a carry here, and he'll carry it right into the end zone.
Decided to win, I do it again.
Game again between the hedges. We saw some flashes, and we saw some things that showed us some concern. But after week 4, guys, what did you guys learn about this team? Go, Matt.
I don't think we've seen the best team yet. I really don't think that. I think it would be easy to say, okay, there's some concerns with the players. There could be concerns with the offense and play calling and the defense and stuff. I really don't think we have shown or we have played to the full potential of this team. Is this team as good as last year's team? I don't think so, but I think this team is still a solid championship contending team by no measure for sure. I just don't think we've seen that real team yet. I think that's something we're going to see. Maybe not until we see Florida, if I'm being real with you. I just think that they're waiting in the wings to really unleash. I think we saw a little bit of glimpses of that. I think especially offense-wise, we saw the explosiveness in offense. We saw the fast pace. We saw the rush and the pass. We saw all that. Yeah, Carson missed some guys. But if you look at that with Carson, yeah, he missed that long deep ball, right, which was disappointing. But then the next deep ball he threw, it was on point. It was good. He adjusted. Just Arian dropped it. So, so that's not – that's what I like to see. I like to see, okay, he adjusted and he knows it's moving forward is what he needs to do. And so once again, each guy, people got to realize those deep balls are not as. He probably should put less underneath it, but it's a different speed. He's got to time that speed down, throw that thing 50 yards in the air to hit somebody on a dime who runs a different speed. Every guy runs a different 40, right? And so it's just the kind of the mindset you got to have that quarterback head. But I don't think we've seen the full team yet. I think we could see even more of it this week.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. And my next comment goes along with Ken Lalonde's comment here. He says both offense and defense is growing week after week. Getting over injuries will help. So, Kevin, how much of the issues that we're seeing with this team play into the injuries? How much do you feel like that continuity we're missing with those number one starters not being in the game is playing into our problems?
I think it's huge. I think it messes everything up and messes your whole game plan that you had set early on in, spring and summer ball, that those pieces, it's like playing chess, and those chess pieces are now taken off the board, and you're trying to maneuver other pieces around to account for those pieces being missing. And I think Ladd McConkey is a huge one. It's every team has been hyper focused on Brock Bowers, and he's still getting the ball and still dynamic. I mean, just over and over again, he just blows my mind of how good he is. But yeah, to get back to your question, those pieces being gone are huge, and if we can get those pieces back, and it looks like, as of the news that's coming out is they're putting Ladd in practice to getting him some reps, trying to figure out where he's going to fit in to help the team. And it's not that he doesn't want to be there. This kid, he wants to be in there, getting reps, playing ball, and helping the team. But, you and I know that back injuries are something else, man. You can't play through a back injury.
Yeah.
Leg, foot, arm, you can play through those. Back is a whole another issue, but that's a huge one. Just having Ladd there, because he makes that defense respect that pass, which in turn opens up those lanes for the big runs. And having Dejon Edwards back, as we can see, is a huge chess piece that we've got back. So these injuries, these guys are starting to heal up, and they're healing up at the right time if we're looking at the schedule. And hopefully we can get some more of these guys back. I mean, and on the defensive side, we're missing Bullard, and he's another one that's huge on the defense. He is our leader back there in the back, man, and he is very explosive. I would equate him to being like the QB of the defense. But it's just experience. These guys that we're having to put in to play haven't had experience like those ones that are injured. So it's huge.
Yep, totally agree. Grady Darcy says our defense and offense are not full strength. We are developing depth while our starters are getting back to health. The full complement is not on the field yet. And yeah, I totally agree. And I think you said it too today, Kevin. You said by the second quarter, like end of the second quarter, we were running our third string, fourth string guys out there. So that's something that we did 2019, 2020 team did a lot of that. And so that helps to develop these guys and get them ready for the end of the season. Brock Bowers, man. I mean, what else can you say about the guy? Matt, have you ever seen a tight end just take somebody and just sling them to the ground like they're a rag doll and just trot into the end zone?
Not like that. I mean, I remember back in the day watching Leonard Pope play, and he was such a huge body. I mean, that guy was like 6'7", 2. But I mean, he was like a skinnier version of Darnell Washington, but not like that kind of stuff. Not the athletic ability that he has to do that. And he needs something like that. He's had some rough games coming up to this game. He's had some fumbles. He's had some drop passes. He's just missed on blocks. So maybe this is the one that's going to springboard him a little bit as well. I think some of that is as well where we're looking at it like, man, he's not been in the thing. I think purposely they've been letting him kind of ease his way into the season. You don't want to burn him out playing these other teams. Let's get other guys some time. Let's just get him in there for some run game stuff and be somewhat of a presence, but they don't need him to win the game. Those other 3 games, he could have sat out. We could have won. Let's be real.
Yep. Totally agree. I am concerned about our run game. I don't know what the answer is going to be. Who's going to step up and be that leader? I mean, we know that Edwards is our number 1 guy, right? He's shown that already. Who else is flashing, Kevin, that you've seen that you feel like that other than Dylan Bell? Who else you think can step up and pick up some reps?
What's the guy's name? Gosh, I'm having a
Andrew Paul.
No, the walk on that
Savon Clark.
Nope.
Cash.
Yes, thank you. I think he's done a fantastic job stepping in and filling in that role, man. I think he's another one of those walk-on players that's just making the most of his opportunity. I don't know what it is about Kirby finding these guys that are just walk-ons that come and earn themselves a spot on this team. But this guy, he wants it, and he's showing it. He does whatever they ask him to do when they ask him to do it, and he is the definition of a team player. So that is one guy that I could say that's probably the one that you're going to see step up and have a bigger role as we go along in the season.
So I noticed in some of our offensive plays, and Matt, I'm asking you this specifically because you cover our offense for us on the show. When Beck has to go through an RPO simulations, RPO play where he's got a run pass option, he seems to struggle. But when he goes empty set and does a 3-step drop and he's in time, he's on point every time. What's the reasoning behind that? What is it? Just he feels more comfortable with a 3-step drop, just taking the snap, dropping back, and then delivering on time, or is it what's the issue? Because it doesn't seem like he can go through his progressions when there's a run pass option.
I'm not sure. I think something like you say maybe comfortability. I mean, I think I saw a stat today saying that 80% of our pass plays go to the left side of the field. So I mean, think about that. Like, if teams are going to figure that out at some point, like, okay, and so, and maybe like I said, it's a comfortability to him. You would think throwing across his body would not be that way, but it just may be that way right now. He's just feeling comfortable in that scenario. But we saw sometimes, even against South Carolina game, when he was able to like I said, do the RPO and scramble outside the pocket a little bit, not scramble, but throw on the run. He made some really good throws as well. So I'm not sure what it is what you're seeing and talking about, but I mean, it's definitely there in some aspects. But once again, how's he going to look when he goes into this on the road environment? He's been on the road for 3 years. Don't get me wrong, but he's not really had to play like this starting on the road.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a good test. Hey, welcome back to John Morgan. It's his first show back from the season, so we're sure and glad to have you back. Yep, and he says we struggled the past couple of weeks. We can't do that against Auburn. Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. All right, so we talked a little bit about this before the show started. Our defensive line, man, just seems like we don't have the dude yet like we had with Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt and Jalen Carter. Who is going to step up? I mean, I'm not saying that we don't have them, but we ain't seen them yet. Who is going to be that dude that's going to step up and be otherworldly, just the Hulk like Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt? I mean, they were the game wreckers. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I don't know who it is going to be on the line, but I was hoping we'd have that linebacker and Pop and JD, Dumas Johnson. I was hoping that he'd step in and be like, that the Kobe Dean type person. But, when we were watching that game, he didn't have that vision to just see that play unfolding like the Kobe Dean and Smith did. They just saw it. They could see it happening before it happened. It's like they had that sixth sense, and he hasn't developed that yet.
The other thing about our defenses in the past, I felt like they swarmed to the ball, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was swarming to the ball. I see a lot of guys just standing around watching. Even the quarterback would run, and We just watch him run. I'm like,
Right.
what are we doing? What? Not anybody going to tackle the guy? So I have some serious concerns on defense. Very, very big concerns.
Yeah.
Especially when we start playing somebody that's prolific and can go either way with the ball. They can run it or they can pass it. We got some troubles. I'm concerned about it. If we don't get them fixed, I'm not sure where we're going to end up.
Yeah, well, I got a question for you. Is it that, or is it the opponents that we're playing that they're not concerned about them getting away from them? Because we hadn't really, like you said, we hadn't really played anybody.
Oh no,
So that kind of
we kind of let Spencer Rattler do whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah,
I mean, he ran
in the first half.
Yeah.
What did he do in the second half? Yep. He did zero. When we were like, I said back. I think to Kevin's point is that we were playing. We're going to rush 3 or 4 guys. That's all we're going to do. We're going to bring 3 or 4 and see what we can do with that. And that's what all we need to do for those 3 games, like even last week's game. And and then we realized in South Carolina we're going to have to bring 4, 5, maybe 6 sometimes. We got to be more disruptive. And that's what we did in the past. And to your point, yes, Pops is not Nakobe Dean, because there's one thing he's missing that Nakobe Dean had is the speed. He doesn't have that. Does he have the football IQ? Yes. Does he have great size and tackle ability? Yes, but he doesn't have that speed. So some of that stuff is coming with that piece. And Munden's still trying to come back from his injury stuff as part of that as well. You see there a lot of C.J. Allen, freshman, is playing. He's picking it up just like Nakobe did when he was a freshman. He got him to play a little bit. So you're going to see that guy develop to be the next leader for that linebacking group.
Ken Lalonde says he thinks this season is going to have to be 3 levels of defense, playing complementary and selective aggressive blitzes. And John Akaki says the type of offense we have played against got rid of the ball quick laterally, and that negates our rush. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, they're getting rid of it like 2 seconds, so there's no chance to get a sack and that kind of stuff. So there's no point in bringing the house. So they're just going to do that, and they're going to do what they did, South Carolina did. They're going to do a screen pass, and they're going to be in the backfield while they're running past us.
Yep, absolutely.
But I think to your point, I think Warren Brinson is the man. I think, and maybe Stackhouse is the man part 2. Those are your main key players to me. If you talk about, are they going to be Jalen Carter style? No, but those guys are going to be disruptors. I think they will be moving forward in the year. They just haven't broken them out yet. They don't want, like I said, I think back to what Kevin said a few years ago, we still kind of want that under the radar, no name defense, so we can impose our will on these guys going down the year.
Well, I like it. I hope that's the case. I know we're going to be heading into a hostile environment in Jordan-Hare. It's always a hostile environment. I mean, you could have the best Alabama teams ever, and they go into Jordan-Hare and they lose. So it always concerns me going in there. Now, I know we're going to get into it. We're going to juice it up, but I've got to I'm telling you, I'm nervous. And I guess it's better to be nervous than it is to be confident. Let's see. John Akaki says, when we get to Kentucky and Missouri, then we can talk. I guess maybe he's talking about our defense. And he says they have drop back wide receivers and QBs. Auburn's QB will try to run over us all over the field. Yep. All right, well, let's get into it. I'm going to run that trailer, and let's start talking about this thing.
What identity are we creating?
The Dogs have won 6 straight over the Tigers in the Deep South's oldest rivalry.
Well, I'm not sure what just happened. Let's try it again.
What identity are we creating?
The Dogs have won 6 straight over the Tigers in the Deep South's oldest rivalry.
I gotta see competition. I gotta see explosion. I gotta see finish, man. Get in the end zone. Dominate for 4 quarters. Create an identity tonight.
Great effort, great energy for 60 minutes. Every play. I want solid, I want physical, I want
brother. You represent the G.
Represent the G. I like it. I like it. Guys, heading over to Jordan Hare. You guys know it. And we're heading to the most confused fan base in the SEC. They don't know what mascot they want to be. But did a little research on Auburn and their mascots. As you know, their mascot is the Auburn Tiger. His name is Albie. According to their website, Auburn does not have two mascots, contrary to popular belief. It says Auburn's athletic teams are the Tigers, and the Tiger mascot's name is Albie. War Eagle is Auburn's battle cry, and the symbol is a live golden eagle named Aurea, or War Eagle 8, who lives at the Auburn University Raptor Center in the university's College of Veterinary Medicine. So, as you know, they always yell out War Eagle at the beginning of each game. And so, anyway, there you go. You got a little lesson. I don't know what the meaning of the Plainsmen is. I forgot. I know I did some research on it last year, but it was meaningless, so I forgot. So, as we move on, the head coach is Hugh Freeze, also known as Alvin the Chipmunk. Hugh Freeze, as a little tidbit, don't he look like Alvin the Chipmunk in that picture?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, you can see it, can't you?
Unfortunately,
just imagine Hugh Freeze with.
Now.
Imagine, close your eyes. Everybody do it. All of everybody listening on the show, close your eyes. Imagine Hugh Freeze singing a Alvin and Chipmunk's Christmas song. I can see it. I wish I'd had one queued up for you.
Yeah.
I should have had it queued up. All right, so little unknown fact about Hugh Freeze. He played college baseball. How about that? He played for Northwestern Mississippi and Southern Miss. How about that? I never knew. Never knew. You guys know he most recently came from Liberty, where he had a lot of success up there. I think he got his quarterback drafted in the NFL. Before that, before all his crazy shenanigans, he was at Ole Miss and paid the price for his sins, unfortunately. So there's Hugh Freeze for you. So this week, Hugh Freeze had his his press conference. It's kind of strange, and I thought I would play the little video for you.
Hey, Coach. Kirby's coming in here, two-time defending national champion. I know you've been out of the conference for a few years, but from afar, watching what he's done and what he's built over there, what impresses you the most with that program and what he's done?
Well, I played Kirby his first year when I was still at Ole Miss, and I know kind of what he inherited because I coached in that game, and I know what the outcome was, and I think it's a great testament to his vision, to his work ethic, to his staff, to his administration being patient and allowing him to go have the years he needed to recruit, and the dividends are paying off greatly. I mean, they're one of the gold standards in college football right now, and you're recruiting a top 3 class every single year, and that's hard to compete with, and they're well coached, and so you got to give them credit. I know it's a rivalry game, but the truth is the truth, and he's built a dang good football program there so that means a lot of things. Or it means he's got the support from the administration. It means he's got the support from the fans, and I don't know how long it took him. I don't know. What did it take him, 3 years or so to get there, or 4 years? I don't know. Some of y'all could do the research, but his second year? I don't know that that's accurate, but anyway, so he did it pretty fast then. That's pretty impressive. It's even more impressive.
Alvin, what planet have you been living on? I mean, We're not talking like 10 years ago. We're not
No.
talking 15 years ago. I mean, this is like 5 years ago, dude. We were there. I mean, I don't know. Just don't know what planet he's on. But as John Akaki says, I guess maybe he was dialing 1-800-888-556 girls online. I don't know. All right. Well, before we digress and go down a road we shouldn't go on, Grady Darcy says he was being fired, and that's probably the truth. He was climbing under a rock. All right, before we go down a road we shouldn't go on, Matt, let's get into the offense, my friend. Bring us up to speed on the offensive players that we need to be looking out for.
All right, let's get started. So we're going to start with the quarterback position. Well, before we get started, quarterback, let's talk about the overall offense we have for this. So their defense, their rushing offense in the country is 31st rushing offense in the country. And if you guys are watching their games, you can see they are definitely running the ball more than they're passing the ball. So that's about a 60-40 degree difference in what they are rushed to pass. So with that piece, you say with their passing, they are 112th passing in the country, which makes them about the 83rd total offense in the entire country. So not stellar numbers there. If we look at how they're playing offensively at home versus away, they're averaging about 12 points on the road. And they're over 40 points at home, kind of going back to Brian's point about being at Jordan Turd. I mean, here, apologize. So with that piece, let's look at the quarterback here we have. So their quarterback is a transfer from Michigan State. His name is Thorne.
Somehow I lost your slides, Matt. I'm so sorry, dude. Just keep talking. I'm going to try to get them in.
No worries. We'll get through it. So the quarterback they have, they actually play about three quarterbacks. The main actual quarterback, the prototypical quarterback passing quarterback is Peyton Thorne. There they have. He's got about 560 yards passing. I believe it's 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He also has 103 rushing yards. So he is definitely doing. He is actually playing the multi rushing and passing quarterback, that mobile quarterback that we've seen in the past there at Auburn. So as we go into the running backs, I picked out 3 people that they have. One name we already know of is Hunter. We saw him last year play. He's their leading rusher. He's got 143 rushing yards. And he's got 1 touchdown, but he averages a little bit under 5 yards, about 4.6 yards per rush. He's a solid running back. We know he's a good player. Saw him a lot last year playing. He's a really solid running back to have. Their second leading rusher is actually out. He's out with a shoulder injury. He got hurt last week, so he won't be playing in this game. So the third leading rusher, we'll see a lot of as well, which is Brian. I think it's Batty. How you say his name? I may be pronouncing that incorrectly. But he's got 117 rushing yards. He's got no touchdowns, but he's averaging over 5 yards a carry. So he's very part of that. The other piece I have, which is he's not really he's our 4th leading rusher, but he's not really a running back. He's actually another one of their quarterbacks, which is the guy we saw last year in Robbie Ashford. He doesn't have a whole lot of passing yards, maybe like 65 passing yards. He's on the ball like 17 times this year, but he's got 4 rushing touchdowns. He's got over 100 yards rushing. So they're definitely using him in that. And I watched the game from last year, and he did. He was able to escape a lot of pressure last year, put a lot of yards on us with his legs. So that's why they have him in that role now. I believe, honestly, he is more that offense plays more with more electricity, more passion, and in a better move when he's at quarterback versus Thorne. And I'm not making the decisions. I like Thorne in there because he gets sacked a lot. They are averaging. I think they are one of the bottom 10 in the entire country on teams that allow sacks. So we do have opportunity there with that if they decide to hold the ball a little bit longer and do more of that rushing with the quarterbacks, we will probably get more sacks as we have in the past if we can get some pressure on them. They have 3 main wide receivers that we're going to look at. One is Jay Fair. He's their leading receiver. He's got about 184 yards. Once again, they don't have a lot of passing yards in general. So the main guys we have are pretty much the half of their passing yards in these 3 guys. So it's Jay Fair with 84 receiving yards. I think he's got 2 touchdowns. Then we also have Hooks, has 106 yards. He's averaging about 13 yards a catch. He was an Ohio transfer as well. And then their tight end, Fairweather. He's got 100 plus yards as well, 1 touchdown. And he was an Florida International University transfer. So they do have some transfers on here. You look at their main contributors. Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of the 7 I mentioned, 4 of them are transfers. So they are really. That's why they're not as congruent yet as they would like to be, which is good for us. Catch them early in their season before they start gluing together. But that's their main focus for them. So they're going to be a lot of rushing. They do rush the ball. I mean, they rush the ball 60 more times than they passed the ball this year. So we really be looking for how we contain that rush, which is not something we've had a struggle in the past. But you never know. This is going to be a game where they're going to enter the playbook on us. We're going to see trick plays. We're going to see things that they haven't shown on film yet. They may come out just throwing the ball out on the field because we're expecting the rush. So we'll just have to see how we adjust to what they throw at us. I'll give it over to Kevin for defense.
Matt, I'm sorry about your slides, dude. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure. Sorry. So sorry. All right. Well, I got Kevin's in here, so I know they're in here. I just checked. So, Kevin, take it away, buddy.
Well, good deal. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. Hey, one little tidbit I want to just highlight before I get started on the defensive side. Just want to highlight that Texas A&M sacked Auburn's quarterback 7 times last week. Just a little bit of piece of information to think about as we head into this game and see what we do on defense. As we get into this, Auburn's defense ranks 24th overall. They're allowing about 298 yards per game, 164 passing yards, and 134 rushing yards. I think that's going to do bode well in Georgia's favor. The first player I want to highlight is Eugene Asante. He's a linebacker, number 9. He is a 5th-year senior. He leads the team in tackles. He's got 20 tackles and 2 sacks. He's a transfer from North Carolina. He played with North Carolina from 2019 through the 2021 season. Last year, he was actually on the scout team for Auburn. He was not a starter. This kid has come alive and is trying to make his name known in this for this team. He has good speed, good body control. He is quick to the ball. He has great tackling ability. He loves to hit. The runners loves to hit when you do the quick little dump passes, your tight end or your running backs. This guy is going to be there. So look for this guy, number 9. He's going to be all over the field. Saturday, actually, this past Saturday in the Texas A&M game, he actually took a tip pass and took it to the house, and actually running down the field about took out their coach, Jimbo Fisher. And I think Brian may have that video to show us. It was actually pretty funny. I just wanted to show this video.
Owens again, flag down, lost the football. It pops up in the air. Eugene Asante heads the other way. Being chased by Johnson. Asante, touchdown if it stands.
Going back, Eugene Asante, Johnny on the spot. I told you at the beginning of the game he was going to have to make a play to change this game. Right there, the fumble gets forced. He's Johnny on the spot because he hustled to the ball. And watch him just blaze down the sideline. He's got a saying that says, let's work.
A War Eagle team that felt dead in the water might be back in it.
Kaylin Lee with the big hit. Eugene.
Yeah, so that's one of those little videos. I don't know what Jimbo was doing out there on the field, but he about paid the price. Our next guy is Marcus Harris, a defensive lineman, number 50. He is also a fifth-year senior. He spent 2 years with the Kansas Jayhawks and excuse me, and 3 years now at Auburn. He has 12 tackles overall, 7 solo, and he has 2 sacks. He is tied for the lead in sacks for Auburn. He had 5 tackles alone in the Texas A&M game. He is a good interior pass rusher, so he's going to be blasting that line, pushing it hard. This is going to be a challenge for Cedric Van Pran. Just watch for this guy. He's going to try to disrupt our run game and try to get to our quarterback. We've really got to keep this guy on the other side of the line. Thirdly, we got Jalen Smith, cornerback, number 36. He is also a fifth-year senior. So if you're seeing a pattern here, they have gone and they've got these guys with a lot of experience. That goes right into what Brian was saying before, just a little nervous heading into this game with all this experience going out to Jordan Hare. This gentleman, he has 12 solo tackles, 3 interceptions, and he had an interception in one of each of the first 3 games. And one for the UMass game, he actually returned for a pick 6. This gentleman, he is from Brunswick, Georgia. He was actually recruited. I did a little research on him since he was from Georgia. He was recruited by UGA and had an offer from UGA in the 2019 class out of Frederica Academy. He is quick to the ball. If you go back and you look at the A&M highlights, he was all over the field. Whoever had the ball, you could see number 36 coming to the ball to make a play, make a tackle. He wraps up. He doesn't just try to do these little lunge at your knees tackles. He is going to grab you. He's going to hit you and punish you when he tackles. He likes jump routes. That's obvious with all his interceptions. He wants to be a ball hawk and steal these passes out of the air for big plays. He's either going to steal it or knock it down. He's got great eyes. He's great defensive ability, and that just comes with his experience of being a fifth-year senior. So with that, those are your 3 players that I just wanted to highlight in our defensive side.
Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, definitely got some concerns there. That video was hilarious with Jimbo Fisher. I can't believe, like Matt said earlier, I can't believe that nobody's brought it up. If that had been Kirby or Nick Saban, but it would have been put us on blast, right?
Yep, most definitely.
Let's see. John Akaki says Jimbo didn't have a ticket to the game. He had to sneak into the game late. Got caught looking at co-eds. Goodness. Well, let's get into it, man. This is one of my favorite parts of the show is the college football pick'em portion of the show. And so far, I am on top. I don't know how that happened.
All right.
I'm up 12-9. Are you sure those numbers are right?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Well, I like it. I'll take it. I will take it. All right. So let's jump into this thing, guys. Very first game we have is Kentucky versus Florida. Matt, tell me what you thought about that one. What was your reasoning behind that one?
So, and I picked this game simply because Kentucky's actually given Florida a really tough game the last few years. And we really picked Florida to really have a disastrous year this year. And I mean, I'm being real. I'll be honest. I hate Florida, but those guys believe for some reason. Whatever they're drinking and eating there, they believe in each other. And when you got guys who sometimes playing over their abilities, they're dangerous. And so we haven't seen anything impressive out of Kentucky. Their defense, yes, their defense is scoring more points than the offense is. It feels like it. I mean, they're returning pick sixes all year long this year. This Kentucky team. So I thought this would be a good game to pick. I mean, let's see. Can Florida go on the road and can they win at Kroger Stadium? I gotta get a little rep there from a company, and so that's the thing. I'm really just curious. Is Florida? This really could be a really boring game ultimately because these teams aren't great. I don't believe they're both either one of them that good, but this could really be the which makes which team get over the hump. Is Florida really improving this year, or is Kentucky going to be able to be a contender in the East? So I think this is what we're going to find out here. So I don't trust Oklahoma. I mean, sorry, Oklahoma, UK. I don't trust them, man. So Kentucky, I'm going Florida. I don't want to, but I'm going Florida.
Wow, I like it. I like it.
I don't like it. I don't like Florida, but I'm going. I don't believe in Kentucky. I just don't believe it.
John Akaki says Kentucky, yes, 24-17. Grady Darcy says Kentucky 24, Florida 25 in overtime. He's saying it's going to come down to the last play of the game, it sounds like.
Okay.
All right, Kevin, what you got? You're muted.
All right. This is a Florida team that has struggled to score points. I mean, they were playing a scrub team last week. They scored 22 points. Playing Tennessee, they scored 29. How they beat Tennessee is beyond me still. And I think that's the only reason that they are back being ranked. But they just seem to struggle on the offensive side of the ball. And I think that's going to play right into Kentucky's hand. Like Matt was saying, that Kentucky's defense has been scoring points for them. I think that's what's going to win Kentucky this game. I got Kentucky winning this one 35-28.
Wow, that's a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of points. Well,
if you go back and look, Kentucky scored 45, 35, 28, and 44.
Yeah, but at 45, two of them were pick sixes.
Well, I'm going with Ken Lalonde.
I said their defense was going to win.
That's 14 points.
I am going with Ken Lalonde. I am a Gator hater. I always have been, always will be, and I cannot pick the Gators.
No.
Ken Lalonde says 21-17 Kentucky. I like it. I'm going to go 24-17, but I like it. I
hope Kentucky wins. I will be rooting for Kentucky. I will be rooting for Kentucky, but I'm just not sure their offense is enough to get over Florida.
All right. So our man is in the show. Hunter Ivy. Defensive low scoring game. Kentucky wins 17-14. What's up, buddy? I like it. I like it. Let's see. I think I may have missed somebody. I'm going back through. Bill Krug. I know I saw him comment somewhere, but I don't see where it went. Well, Bill posted, agree with John Akaki, as hard as that is to do. So I think he was talking about John Akaki. There it is. John Akaki's score prediction there. All right. Well, on to our next one, Ole Miss and LSU. Matt, take it away, buddy.
So this is this weird thing about LSU. We don't know what team we're going to get when LSU hits the field. They got everything they wanted last week. They got an at-home night game, and they still struggle to be a struggling Arkansas team. So I'm not sure if it's just the rivalry between those two teams that they always play tough, or just LSU just going to be like they were last year. They're going to have really good games. They're going to have really bad games. And they didn't play terrible. They just, they no way that team should have been in the ballpark with them. And so I'm just not sure what team I'm getting. Now, do I think they're better than Ole Miss. Yes, I think they'll eventually will beat Ole Miss. I just don't know, man, because you could get surprised. You could have an Ole Miss team who's pissed off from last week and thought they're going to go in there and take down Alabama and end up getting embarrassed. And now you're going to have another running quarterback here who could just embarrass them again. So we'll see. I'm taking LSU though.
I like it, Kevin.
The heck with Ole Miss. They let me down last week. I'm taking LSU. LSU win this one, 32-24.
I like it. Let's see. Grady Darcy says LSU 42, Ole Miss 38. John Akaki says LSU, Ole Miss bounces back 35-31. Ken Lalonde says 34-21 LSU. I like it. I don't know, man. Lane Kiffin let us down, man. I thought for sure he had the team to beat Alabama this year, and they couldn't get it done. His game plan was terrible. I can't depend on Ole Miss to win this game. They have LSU. The line is LSU by 3, and I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be LSU by 3. I'm going to go LSU with this one. Let's see. Bill Krug says, I want to take Ole Miss, but they dropped the ball last week. Yeah, no doubt, man.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. I thought for sure that was Ole Miss's best chance of beating Alabama, and it just proved to me that Lane Kiffin can't get it done. He cannot get it done. All right. Tennessee Vols versus the South Carolina Gamecocks at Neyland. Revenge game. Matt, what you think?
This is going to be a tough one. You just don't know what you're going to get with Spencer Rattler. I think it ultimately all falls on Spencer Rattler. That sounds terrible to say, but it is. We know that we know the inaccuracies and the offense is not clicking like it did last year for Joe Milton there, whatever his name is. Is it Joe Milton? I know it's Milton for Tennessee, but he's not showing us anything like super spectacular. So we just know he's just Mr. Average, but he's the best they got. But with Rattler, you just don't know. Is he going to show out, or is he going to be a dud? And it's tough to play at Tennessee. So, man, I'm gonna ride the South Carolina train. I don't want to, but I'm gonna ride the South Carolina train. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna think that they maybe can play a whole game. And yeah, they struggled to beat Mississippi State last week, which is not a very good team. But let's see if they can go in there with some energy, man, and do some shocking. So I'm gonna take upset.
I like it. Kevin, what you think?
I'm in agreement, Matt. If you can get Spencer Rattler to play the same game that he played Georgia the first half, a whole game at Tennessee, they will have no problems winning this game. I got South Carolina winning in an upset 38-31.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to go South Carolina as well. I know we're all picking the same games, but if Spencer Rattler comes out and shocks Tennessee the way he did Georgia, Tennessee is not resilient enough to come back. They can't do it. We saw it in the Florida game. Joe Milton goes into the complete just breakdown mode, and he tries to go with the deep shots. He tries to get it all back in one play, which never, ever works. And I'd rather take those 80% balls where you throw underneath and run the screens to know that I get 80% completions than to take a chance on a 50-50 ball that usually turns into a 25-75 ball, right? Yep. So I'm going to go Gamecocks, and I'm going to go big with them. I'm going to say they're going to win by 21 in this game. They're going to just embarrass Tennessee at home. They're going to get out with a 14-point. They'll have a 14-point lead at halftime, and then Tennessee will not be able to answer. So I think South Carolina wins this by 21.
The only caveat I have to this whole thing is that Tennessee actually has a really good run game, and South Carolina does not have a good run defense. So they could they could easily just play an all run game like we did against them and have an Edwards moment. You have two guys rush for 80, 90 yards each and just beat them on ground. So you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yep, totally agree. Grady Darcy says he thinks it's going to be a tight game. 29 Vols, 27 Chickens. Let's see. John Akaki says Rattler wins, cocky, 31-24. Bill Krug says Vols are beatable, so go with South Carolina at home. They're in Neyland, though. No. Ken Lalonde says Rattler comes to play this one, and Vols have shown me nothing. South Carolina 28, Tennessee 21. I like it. John Akaki says Carolina is in Knoxville, Bill. Yep. Okay, so Bill's changing. He says he's ouch, but staying with South Carolina. I like it. All right. The Southwest Classic. I found this I found this graphic and I liked it, so I used it. The Southwest Classic, Arkansas and Texas A&M. Kevin, since Matt's been going first the whole time, I'll let you take this one. Go, buddy.
I'm just going to go back to the game last week with Arkansas and LSU. Arkansas had that game in hand and let LSU kick a game-winning field goal to just clinch it. And I don't know how much more, the Arkansas fan base is going to take Sam Pittman, but we all love Sam Pittman for what he did at UGA, and I cannot go and pull against Sam Pittman as long as he's not playing UGA. I have to go with Arkansas with another tight game, but this time they pull it out by 3, 34-31.
All right, Matt, what you think, buddy?
This one isn't, like I said, a tough one because you just don't know what you're going to have a backup quarterback playing for Texas A&M. This game has always been tight the last couple of years we've watched it. I'm not impressed with anything from Arkansas, but Texas A&M is not wowing me by no stretch of the imagination. I just don't think Arkansas has any kind of defense to prevent this. I really want Arkansas to win, but I'm going to go with Texas A&M just to mix it up a little bit.
Okay. Hunter Ivy says Arkansas 38-28. Grady Darcy says he still loves Sam Pittman. Arkansas 30-20. And let's see. Oh, Ken Lalonde. I clicked the wrong button here, guys. I'm sorry. Ken Lalonde says I want Arkansas, but I think they hit their ceiling 2 years ago. A&M 31 to Woo Pig 31. So they're going to tie again? I mean, I didn't know. Oh, there he is. He says 31-21. Okay. All right. Good deal. Let's see. I think our YouTube feed must be running behind because I saw some posts from Daddy and Hunter Ivy that came in late on South Carolina, but apologize I didn't get those thrown up. I'm going to tell you, I don't trust A&M right now, and I'll tell you why. Their starting quarterback is out for the rest of the season, and Mark Richt's nephew is going to be the starting quarterback going forward. And he just doesn't have the game experience, and I don't see them being very successful with him for the rest of the season. And I think that we may be seeing the end of the Jimbo Fisher tenure after this game. So I'm going to go with Arkansas winning this one. I think it's going to be close. I think Arkansas wins by 3. All right. Jumping on here because we are running out of time. Duke and Notre Dame. Matt?
Oh, I really want Duke to win. I really want the Blue Devils to win this game. If I'm being real, because I just can't stand Notre Dame. But I'm telling you, Notre Dame's they're a decent team this year. And we don't want to admit it because all the years
you got
past,
enough people on the field.
Yeah, And so I just, but I think Notre Dame's. I think they're still a solid team. They're still. I'm gonna go with Notre Dame, even though I don't. I picked them last week and they failed me. That was still a good game last week to watch. I want Duke to win. I'm gonna go Notre Dame.
I like it, Kevin.
All right, Notre Dame proved to me that they're an incompetent team last week. Completely incompetent. They had that team in hand. Total mismanagement of personnel on the field. Total mismanagement of timeouts. Total mismanagement of the entire game. Totally incompetent team. Duke has proven itself this year to be a winner. They come in, they beat Clemson, and not only beat them, they beat them in a convincing manner. I think this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be 31-28 Duke.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, Notre Dame dropped the ball for sure at the end of that game, man. 10 players on 2 plays.
Yes.
Somebody's got to get that. Somebody, there's a staffer that's supposed to be counting those, right? Somebody's paid to do that, and they didn't do it.
Not only that, you got the offensive coordinator sitting up in the booth looking at the field. He should have radioed down,
Somebody.
hey, we only got 10 going on the field.
Yep. All right, Bill Krug says Duke will surprise you this week, but it's going to be close. Grady Darcy says yawn. Notre Dame 33, Dukies.
The Dukies.
19, I like it. I like it. John Akaki says Notre Dame comes off a loss, 35-21. And Hunter Ivy says Duke 35-32. Like it. I like it.
Listen to Hunter.
I know it. Notre Dame should have beat OSU. We'll never pick them again. Duke wins 21-10. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Duke too. I think it's going to be close, like a 3-point game, like Hunter said, 35-32, something like that. So I'll go Duke as well.
Well, you guys just picked the same exact people the whole way through.
I know. It's horrible, ain't it? We might be brothers.
Picking somebody else just to change it all up.
We might be brothers or something.
Or feeling. Yeah.
We might be related. I don't know. All right, guys, here we are. The game of the week. Going to Jordan Hare. Tell me what you think.
I really think that defense we're going to play this week is a legit defense, like Kevin was saying. I think they hit hard, they move fast, and they got something to play for. They know they have to support that offense. And so, I mean, I don't care who they've played so far this year, but they've played pretty well. And so that's going to be our real test we're going to have. Not only go on the road, but actually facing a good, solid defense. I'm going to go. I got 2 numbers out here, so I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm going to pick. So I honestly think it's going to be a really close game early, because even think about last year. Last year, this game was close in the first half. So I think we're going to have a lot of the same. I think it's going to be a close game because people are going to give us their best. But eventually, their best is going to run out. It's going to deplete over the longevity of 4 quarters, and we're going to pull away in the end. I'm going to go 34-13.
I like that. Grady Darcy
I'm actually covering it.
I like it. Grady Darcy says UGA starts to bring some dudes back, 38-9. I like that. So this line opened at like 17.5, I think, is what it opened up at, and it dropped to 14.5, which that's what makes me nervous. It makes me nervous big time. So, Kevin, what you think?
I think this is going to be a very close game. Like I said, I think it's not going to be the first half. I think it's going to be the first quarter. I think that it's going to be a tight first quarter game, and then the talent and the actual cohesiveness of the team is going to start showing, and that's going to be on Georgia's favor. I think that's at the second quarter you're going to start seeing Georgia pull out there and take a big lead, because we saw great strides in that team starting out more quickly this last week and actually be more crisp. Yes, there was deficiencies There was things that weren't seen, but you can visually tell that those things are being addressed and worked on and corrected week after week after week. That's why I got Georgia going out there and winning this one. I still say it's big. I got 38-17.
Yeah, I like it. I don't see us getting to 40. I totally agree with that. Let's see. John Akaki says Dogs are going to be 38-16. Dad says he heard that Auburn was going to win 38-37, but he don't think that'll happen. UGA 34-13. I like that. Bill Krug says this game, Carson Beck will shut up his detractors, and UGA wins big. I like it. I like it. Ken Lalonde says the Dogs are going to make them throw. Lots of folks in the box on D. Georgia 35, War Tiger Plains Idiot 17. I love it. I love it. Hunter Ivy says the run game comes alive in this one. Replay of the 2017 SEC title game. Dogs by 21. Dogs on top 28-7. I like it. Nice. I like it. Yeah, I'm kind of along the lines of everybody else. I don't see us scoring more than I think it's going to be 32-10. I think that somehow, some way, Auburn figures out a way to score a touchdown, but their offense is inept, and they've got some major issues there on offense. But they got a pretty good defense. But I think 32-10 is what I'm going to go with. But the Dogs will come out on top. All right, guys. Well, any final thoughts before we shut this thing down?
Yeah, keep in mind, I reiterate, Texas A&M sacked their quarterback 7 times last week.
Yep.
They also brought 5 or 6 every time they did that. So we got to start doing that and not just bring 3 and 4 all the time. I will say the best part of last week was we went 6 for 6.
If I noticed that on film, you better believe somebody that's paid a lot more than me noticed it on film.
For sure.
Yeah, appreciate it, Grady Darcy. Grady says, good job, guys. Go Dogs. Yep. Well, guys, Kevin and I are heading to Talladega for the weekend. We're going to enemy country. But guess what? We'll be flying big and high. It will be the big Jeep. And one thing that we didn't have to worry about is any smack talk this spring when we went to the game. We went to the race in the spring, so I'm pretty sure we ain't going to have no smack talk when we get over there this year. So it'll be a great time to be a dog, and we were going to enjoy ourselves, and we're going to try to catch that game there in Jordan-Hare from the stands watching the race. So hopefully the race will get over on Saturday in time for us to catch it. But well, guys, let's send this thing out right here. All right. So the Dogs are heading over to Jordan-Hare. We are favored by 14.5. Feel pretty confident that the Dogs will take care of business, even though I am nervous because we're in Jordan-Hare. But Middle Georgia Dog Pound is going to be back here next week at our normal time on Thursday night, and we will be ready to talk about the big win at Jordan-Hare. The Dogs are going to take it to the house one more time. I'm Brian, Kevin, Matt. Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!